Watching the guys bowl in practice all for the last hour or so, and they've been doing nothing to strike. So everybody is hyped up and anticipating, as you said, strings of strikes and big scores.
Baker comes out, light hit, and leaves the soft 7 on lane 33.
Everybody said the pair played pretty much the same. PBA this week is oiling 28 feet, carrying the oil forward, dragging it down to 45 feet with a spray gun only and what they call a Christmas tree pattern.
Saving the wood, Tommy Baker with his spare in the first. Now the man who was looking to win back-to-back, Bryan Goebel.
Now for Bryan, he's got the right lane hooking more for him than the left lane. Interesting, you know, Doug Kent had it the opposite way around, so it's different roles. See that ball just roll out right at the pocket? All the players are doing that. Bryan Goebel, 6-step player. Holds that ball high right up here as he starts. Pushes it out with that nice long arm. Watch as he gets to the peak of the backswing. Right about in here. You see it go right up like so. Nice long slide. Good balance. Good follow through. Left arm out there for balance. Trying for the double.
Shakes him up. Favorable bounce. And he starts with a double.
Where Baker didn't get that 7th pin out, he did.
Baker got highly.
Tommy a little nervous, first time on TV in a couple of years, and he knows he's got the ability to make better shots than he has the last couple of frames here. He just needs to relax, gain a little confidence. Hurry. Oh, well, wow.
Wow.
Tommy Baker, 5-step player. Again, holds the ball right up here. Steps. Now kind of just pushes it down. Head and shoulders go forward a little bit. See right here, nice shoulder high backswing. Nice long slide. Good finish. And right now he's having trouble getting 10.
Won 7 of 8 matches last night. Averaged 250 en route to making the telecast.
Came from a long way back.
I don't think there's any question that after 2 years of not appearing in the championship round, he is a touch nervous here tonight.
Well, he's going to be a touch behind, too, and Goebel gets up here and throws 2 more strikes. He's already 23 behind. He's going to be 43 after a couple more frames.
Player right now bowling with as much confidence on the Pba Tour as any player out here.
And his hand release is just so pretty. Ooh, a solid 9. You know, it's interesting, Dan. I was talking to him earlier, and he used to loft the ball way out on the lane, and now he sets it down much smoother. But he was making his adjustments this week, not by moving his feet so much, but by the loft on the ball. He would loft it a little bit more when they started to hook and just adjust that way. And I never possessed that kind of ability. I wasn't in with my repertoire to just change, going it further out of the lane and sending it out shorter to make that adjustment that way. But that's what he did this week.
Obviously delaying the roll a little bit the further you send it out.
Right. He would do that, yeah. Going further out as they started hooking more and set it down earlier when they were tighter. And to him, he can set it down earlier on this left lane because it's a little tighter for him.
Flush hit in the 4th. And Bryan Goebel with an early 22-pin lead. And the Greater Rochester Open will be back with more from Marcel's Olympic Bowl right after these messages. The championship round finals of the Rochester Open are being brought to you by AMF Bowling, makers of the new King Cobra ball with Strike R resin. Tommy Baker down by 22 and looking to make something positive happen here.
I think he's going to turn it around right now.
Beat the phone.
See, Tom, it's not that tough.
He's got to put it together, though, now. He strikes here, down 12 pins, right back in the middle.
Tommy with 7 career titles. As we mentioned, last victory, 1986.
Blow that air out here then.
Baker crept up high.
If your speed is a little soft and you threw it too far right, it would overreact and go high. But all week long, and I threw some shots in practice when we were doing the average builder, you know, you could stand left and throw it right and it'd come back forever.
So there is unlimited room to the right. You just don't want to set it short.
Now this time he didn't use any switch balls with the spare and he made it. You know, that shows me he didn't go practice at the 3-6 in the hour of practice that he had.
Well, I threw so many strikes. Why would you worry about sparing?
Well, they're part of the game.
Today, we have these 4 jump drawers. I've been procrastinating cleaning these drawers.
Goebel did
Again, a little high on the right lane. He's got it hooking more for him. You know, you would think, I mean, I would think they just move another board or so left. Bryan Goebel, high backswing. Clean release. See how light he stayed behind and how those fingers just rotated right up through the ball? Beautiful shot there.
Spare up for Goebel, who continues to lead by 22. I had a chance to chat with him last night and ask him about his entire game coming together.
I've worked so hard to make my game solid and competitive and smooth, and I feel like everything is feeling like it should be right there in place, and that makes it a lot easier to keep my concentration focused on what I'm doing. It makes it easier to do nothing but throw the ball where you want to throw it and not worry too much about anything else.
Right now, the only thing he's worried about is carrying 10 pins on the right lane. He keeps 9 pin and a 4 pin. Keeps Baker in the match.
The 9 pin was a great shot.
Well, the 4 pin was a good shot, too. Just hooked a hair early.
That I've been procrastinating for 3 years took me 9 minutes.
Wow. 3 shots through the nose. Tommy didn't throw 3 shots through the nose in an hour of practice.
No, not even close. It's got to be nerves.
Yeah, it does. Just needs a little more extension, a little more reach with that shot. Kind of like he did there with the spare.
Almost looks like right now he's just trying to get the ball off his hand. You know, it's not the kind of shot that he is capable of making.
There's Bianca, Tommy's daughter. One of them.
10 years old.
Tugging on her ear there. She's got some sign going on with somebody.
Maybe it's a good luck sign.
Well, he needs it. Gave that one more room and it rolled out at the pocket.
Better start tugging on both ears.
Yeah, right.
24-pin lead for Bryan Goebel, who could really apply the pressure if he throws a couple more strikes. We're in the opening match of the Greater Rochester Open, live from Marcel's Olympic Bowl. We'll be back with more right after this. All right, we mentioned 10th year in Rochester here at Marcel's. Let's take a look back at some of the past champions.
And our opening one, the great Marshall Holman. Of course, Tom Baker is on tonight's telecast. Scott Devers, a very talented left-hander. Ron Palumbi Jr. in '88. Joe Berardi, fastballer there. Roger Bowker won here a couple of times, I think. Yeah, '93 he won also. David Ozio, his big year in '91 when he was Player of the Year.
And so was McDowell, Player of the Year in '92.
Right.
And this guy right here is thinking about Player of the Year in '94, but a lot of work left.
See if he can make the adjustment. See if he gets any more loft on it here, Dan. Get that thing a little bit further down the lane. Nope, he's consistent. I'm saying 9 pin, 4 pin, 4 pin. They're all right in about the same spots, you know. And he's shaking his head. Oh, I gotta move here.
When you leave a 4 pin, are you a half a board high?
Generally, that's what my move always was. A half a board.
So far, every ball in the pocket for Bryan Goebel, but he's been really unable to shake Tom Baker.
You said that you were talking in the break there that if he doesn't distance himself pretty quick, you know, Tommy's going to figure it out and get back in this match. You see the score right there. Difference 24 pins. Baker on that strike. The 8th and 9th frames coming up.
Bakes has had lots of problems, though, with the right-hand lane.
He's got one string. He's had problems put 2 good shots in a row.
Well, there's no question the ball holds pocket better on 33.
But he's got it rolling out right dead flush every time over on that one.
Still room for 225 for Tom Baker of Buffalo, New York.
He's going to do it, then. He's got to do it now.
There's some great shots in the clutch last night against Walter Ray. And his fiancée looking on. No smile yet. Almost one.
She knew she was on TV. She'll smile even bigger if he gets one more here. This cuts the lead down to 4 pins and sets him up for the 10th frame. Like you say, he threw some great clutch shots last night against Walter Ray. Just like that.
Well, his dad, Hank, kind of reserved at this point. Of course, he knows Tommy will come through in the clutch. He has so many times before. Changes the complexity of this match, though.
If he doesn't strike right now, he can be, no matter what he does, Baker can win. Moved in a little bit. It went real high that time. He just hasn't been able to make the adjustment on that right lane. Tremendous break there, only leaving the 6 pin. If you give him this spare now, strike him out in the 10th frame, he finishes with 219. Baker, like we said, can go up for 225.
This would be a major comeback win for Tom Baker if he ends up advancing into the next game. It looked like Goebel had him right by the throat and was ready to just move on into game number 2.
Goebel wants to sneak by this match and then try another adjustment on the right lane on lane 34. He knows he can hit that lane. He just hasn't quite figured it out.
3 strikes here gives him 219. He forces Baker to at least double.
Right. Smooth. Dices him up right there. He's perfect on the left lane. You know, you break the game down. You get 7 shots if you strike out in the 10th frame on one lane and 5 on the other. He could wind up with 7 strikes on this left lane.
And watching his demeanor, body language right now, it's very much business as usual. Let's just get this next one, then we force Tommy to double.
But in the back of his mind, he knows that he's possibly let this one slip away. Or the double. Oh, solid 10. He went straighter with that one, Dan. It didn't arc like the other ones. So he's going to finish with 209. Baker just needs the first one.
Just needs the first one.
Just needs the first one. I fully expect him to get it.
Easier said than done.
Not for Tommy. Okay. He always struck against me.
Well, he knew what he was up against.
Well, yeah, easy.
He was always very confident when bowling Herr Durbin. All right.
Baker knows he's striking the first ball.
Didn't roll well. Just couldn't get comfortable. Bryan knows
that he just left.
Escaped
The 3-6.
something that maybe he shouldn't have here. We never thought a 2-0 game would win here tonight.
Not in a million years. The truth be known, I think Tommy would tell you, I did not perform at all like I was hoping.
I think he hit 4 shots through the nose. He left the 3-6 here 3 times. Missed it once. That ultimately turned out to be the difference in the match, that missed spare.
For Tom Baker, a 5th place finish, but if the truth be known, Bakes was probably thrilled to death that he had a chance in the 10th frame to win this match.
Oh, yeah. He had it there. I mean, to only need 1 strike to win the match, you know, you can't ask for much more than that.
Missile strike. Trump made the big adjustment left. Ball rolled early.
was a good match, so
Every time on the right hand.
click and subscribe.